Good evening and welcome to the Historical Commission meeting for May 23rd here at the Town Hall meeting room at 6:30.
As young fellows, about 1910, they went out in their fishing vessel, which they had done successfully many times out of Gloucester, Mass.
And never came back.
They were never seen again. Their vessel sank off a terrible storm, and their bodies were never found.
Oh, God.
If you look for a death record in Massachusetts for them, you won't see it because they couldn't prove they were dead. You have to do that.
Before we get started, can somebody explain to me exactly what the Historical Commission is?
Okay, we'll get into it.
All right, cool.
Okay, as we go along here.
Sure.
Okay, I need a motion to open our meeting.
So moved.
I'll second.
Second.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have a new member this evening, Richard Morris here.
Yep.
We're going to welcome him to our group. Okay, we're going to stand for the Pledge of the Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As I recall, that became something that was done habitually under the Eisenhower administration. I think that's when they first began doing that.
Well, all the groups that meet in town now, they're all doing it.
Oh, sure. No, it's a nice thing. It just
It is
reminds
very
you
nice.
of what we are and who we are.
Okay, so we're going to look over the minutes from last month's meeting
Yep.
and see if it needs any corrections or everything should be okay. Okay. Now, right now, everything on Perry Hill Church is on hold. Okay. All right, may I have a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so these were approved. Okay. Matthew Murray, the Boy Scout from Troop 11 that did the project on Perry Hill and Mendel Road, him and his dad were supposed to come tonight, but he's graduating. So he's doing the prom thing, the whole thing this week.
Which
So-
is more important? Which is more important, I ask you?
Well, his dad told me the prom is. So we're going to try to get him here next meeting so he can give a little talk, and he's got pictures
Yep.
of the project, so that's good. The project on Mendel Road is complete and it's beautiful.
Yep.
Richard, you might want to go by there and take a peek for yourself. Perry Hill Road to Mendel Road, right at the corner. There's a 1 acre parcel there. That used to be the old Perry Hill School.
Aha.
Okay, so the Boy Scouts Troop 11 went there, they cleaned the whole lot out.
Yep.
And it's really, really nice. So we've named it the Perry Hill School Park.
Cool. Very
Okay, so you might want to go by and check it
nice.
out.
All right.
Okay?
I drove by there maybe a couple weeks ago, and I was struck by how nice that church looked. The building looked great, although it doesn't really have any function at the moment.
No, can't use it.
No.
Well, can't use it. And they won't give me any money.
Well, they probably figured we have to separate church and state. I don't know. Who knows?
Well, they did a lot of plantings over there, and they also added the picnic table,
Yep.
the benches, and the lighting.
Yep.
And we asked for funds from CPC to purchase the flagpole, and it got approved last night at town meeting. So we're gonna get the flagpole.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, and our sign over here at Potting Way School, the 1903 sign, is
That-
going to get repaired.
That's been
I'm
approved.
going to have a whole new one made.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and the third thing is the fence at the museum.
Yeah.
So we're going to get that fence on the north
Where's
side.
the museum?
The Long Plain Museum
Okay,
up on
okay,
Main
Long
Street.
Plain, yep.
Yep. So, you're gonna have to come by there and check that out too. We take care of the meeting house, which is about a mile further up on Main Street from the museum. Quaker Meeting House, and then the museum. So, yeah, those are our projects. where to start with what we do. We do a lot of different things, okay? Right now, if I've been doing this I've probably been doing, how long has Irwin been gone? Good 10 years or more?
No, yeah.
So I've been a chairperson since he passed away. And we've repaired a lot of the signs around town, the old historic signs.
Yep.
We've replaced them, and right now we've been trying to work on the Perry Hill Church.
Mhm.
That's been going on since 2011. Okay?
Yeah.
The town ended up taking it eminent domain
Yep.
because there was no survivors that owned the building.
Yeah.
It was only church people
So the
that
town
used
owns it now,
The town owns it.
but they don't want to invest money in it.
Now, they did in the beginning, because they repaired, they put a new roof on. We insulated the building inside. We've got all new siding and new doors, which are the steel doors.
Is it used for anything
No, we can't use it
because of?
because it's not complete inside and there's no bathrooms. Now, all these years, that building dates back to 1871.
Whatever.
Yep.
1875 is the museum.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of logistical problems with that building.
Such as?
Small lot, no parking,
Yep.
not enough room for septic.
No water, no heat,
So there's no bathrooms in there now?
nothing.
So
Never
there's no
was.
running water in there?
Nope. It's in the street, but it's not in the building.
That costs a lot of money.
Well, this is the problem. We've got money in an account that we've gotten from previous CPC meetings and past that town meeting. We have over 38,000 in one account, but that money is strictly for a rehab on the building itself.
So even if you rehab the building, if the lot is too small for parking, it doesn't make much sense to go spend the money to put the bathrooms in if you can't use the building.
Well, we would be able to use it if we had bathrooms and
But you
heat.
have no parking.
The parking would only be, there's in the front, you probably could put 5 or 6 cars in the front.
And what would it be used for?
Well, my idea was to open it on Sundays as a church. And then we could use it for other things, we could rent it out.
Yeah, but if it hasn't got any sort of congregation, much less a
No.
clergyman.
Most of them are gone.
Yeah.
There is a few down on Perry Hill Road that went there when they were kids.
Oh, sure.
They were
Nowadays,
brought in
you
that
could
church.
become an ordained minister online.
It would be hard to do.
No, it wouldn't. And you can open up your own, you could open the church up and invite people in and
Yeah.
preach your words. You know?
The problem is you need the people to contribute to keep the church going.
Going.
That's
And
true.
the problem is though, if you got no place to park, the whole purpose is defeated.
It's
Yep.
kind of a dinosaur.
That's just what it is.
Yeah, but it's historical, so it should be. The
Exactly.
building should be kept up. But as far as investing the money inside, I can't see spending that kind of money if you can't use it. You know what I mean?
Well, the only way we'd be able to use it is, first of all, we have to get bathrooms in there.
Right.
And according to the building inspector, the code is, it's gotta have 3 bathrooms.
3?
Like 3.
Men's, women's,
And handicap.
well, they all gotta be handicapped.
Well, a family.
Family or what they call the LBGTs.
Oh, yes.
They'll have to have a separate bathroom.
Yeah, boy.
So that's the code of the state.
That's gotta be a healthy sum of money right there.
Well, when I talked to the building inspector, I told him, that we have money in that fund, any possibility of trying to get bathrooms in there. And he told me that that's not enough to even put one in.
No, I can
Now,
understand it.
Pauline, if you can't do anything with the building itself, as far as the interior, bathrooms, heat, plumbing, whatever, can it be maintained on the outside, weather tight and everything else?
It's a historical landmark, right?
Well, right now
Or-
it is okay on the outside.
Right, but how long is the town gonna keep putting money for repairs on the outside, painting,
They wouldn't give me a
roofs?
red cent this year.
Okay. So,
That's why I had the little
Well, how
meeting
long
with
will it
them.
last in the condition that it's in now?
The condition inside, it's.
No, I meant outside, to keep the building
Oh, outside
looking
it's
all
okay.
right.
Yeah,
It would be there till we're all dead, right?
and then some.
So-
Because the
way
building is
ancestors
solid.
Kermit the Frog, they croaked a long time ago.
But I mean, that's why I had the meeting, even with the society, we had the meeting and talked about it. And my point of view is this, if the town is not going to put any more funds into that building,
Yeah.
then we may as well just turn it right back over to the town, let them sell it, let them do whatever they want with it.
But even if the town sold it, what are they gonna,
They
what
wouldn't
is
be-
anybody that's gonna buy it do with it?
I
They
don't
would
know.
be able to sell it because, again, it all comes down to parking. If you don't have places to park the people that go use it, what good is it?
Unless.
First of all, it's an undersized lot.
Yeah, it
It
is,
has no storage,
yeah.
so they can't get grandfathered.
Right. What was the building used for originally?
Always a church.
And with no bathrooms?
Back in the old days,
No
They
bathrooms.
probably had an outhouse out back and well,
Well,
hidden
a wooden
behind bushes
outhouse
or
probably,
yeah,
yes.
I never saw it, but.
Well, I
It could be
remember
years ago.
waking up in the morning hearing those church bells.
Yeah.
Really?
The building's
That
still
was
there.
used to be, well, we called it a farmer's church.
Yeah.
Because they used to have an early service, farmers used to go there, all the local farmers.
Yep.
Yeah.
And go to this
what year you
service
talking?
and then do their thing.
You're talking before the war,
Before
Oh,
what?
yeah.
World War II,
No. I'm talking
50s?
the 50s. Yes.
The 1950s? Mm-hmm.
No, we're not up to the 2050s yet, Pauline.
And he's not old.
And I'm not old enough to be in the 1850s.
Well, but 1950, you were here.
Yes.
I was born
In
in
the
42.
1950s. I attended the Long Plain School
Yeah.
in 1955.
I don't know. It's like the old library over here.
Yeah, what are they gonna do with that?
The last time I talked with the selectman and the town administrator, they told me they were gonna hire an appraiser to get a formal appraisal on that building and put it on the market. Now, that was over a year ago. Haven't heard no more.
Well, they may have thought better of it and they figured, what's the point? What's the use?
So they're gonna let the building rot away?
Yeah, I
It
was
would
gonna
be
say,
sad if
where
they
they gonna-
did, but I don't know what you do with
I
that.
can't see them destroying that
Good for only
building.
one purpose, and that's some sort of religious observance.
Well, with
What?
the church, yeah, but I mean, the library over
Oh,
here.
yeah.
There's 2 floors.
Yeah,
You could do anything in there.
I heard that
Wasn't
they
that-
were gonna use it for veterans.
Yeah,
Oh,
they,
well,
that went
They went-
because it was too much money.
Now,
Yeah.
wasn't that building originally donated to the town? Russell
building?
The
Memorial, because of his daughter or whatever?
yeah.
It was in his daughter's name?
Might have been years ago.
So
I don't
if it's a donated building to the town,
It's owned by the town, though.
it's owned by the town, but doesn't the town have an obligation to keep it up?
Not really.
I don't think so.
If it becomes a liability, they'll get rid of it. Just like that house across the street that George Washington met with his General Beauregard. They tore that down in '57. That to me was sacrilege.
Oh, the Somerton House.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it
was
was sad,
they
I'm sure.
should have never torn that
No,
building down.
no,
Yeah.
no.
And that was one of the main reasons I joined this society, because there's a plaque out there. See,
I
do
had
a-
that made.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I do a lot of bicycle riding.
Uh-huh.
In fact, this is my 33rd year of bicycle riding.
Wow.
And I go by that plaque a lot, and I've read it numerous times.
Mhm.
I can't get over them tearing that building down.
Yeah. No.
I don't care what it would have cost to maintain it. They should have
Mhm.
never torn it down.
Never torn
It's
it
certainly
down.
a sad thing if they,
The last family that lived in the Somerton House,
Yep.
I met I should say I met her niece, and it's her grandmother that lived in that house, and she's way up in her 90s. And they're the ones that had called me. The niece called me, was from New Hampshire. She had come down with her mother. Her mother wanted to go see where the Somerton House was. Of course, there was an old sign there from before. So when they went, they were very discouraged, because the sign was old, she couldn't really read it, the whole 9 yards. So the niece called me, and she asked me if there was any way that we could make a new sign. So I did, I had the sign made, and it's a long sign, it's got
It's
the
a nice
picture of the
sign,
house.
but the trouble is that nobody sees it. Well, nobody reads it because nobody walks anymore.
Well, they don't walk by.
No, that's true.
I've had a lot of people go by there and tell me that sign is beautiful,
It is beautiful.
you know?
And that's another reason I joined too, was because of the library. When I was a kid, I've been in that place, and it's a beautiful building.
It is.
And I just can't see it going to
I know.
waste.
Yeah.
That's another, I gotta bring that up to, I gotta ask them again what's going on with that library, because, I
It was
mean,
built in 1930.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be a shame there's gotta be some way that the town can use that building. I don't understand why they didn't use it for offices. They're
Well-
always crying because they don't have office space.
I don't know why they haven't used it for office. I don't know if there's a problem with that building.
I mean, they were crying for office space when my mother worked here,
Well, that's why they got the Pine School now, and it's all offices.
Right.
They did a beautiful
But I'm
job.
sure that they could use that place for offices too.
Or even when they talked about selling it, they said like get an accountant or somebody in there, somebody that has a small business,
Yeah.
that would be perfect.
You're right, they could rent the space out.
Mm-hmm.
So why isn't anybody looking into that?
I don't know why the selectmen have given up on it or what the problem is, but I'm gonna find out.
Pauline, hypothetical question. If I own an historical piece of property,
Mm-hmm,
and I could, my personal property,
yeah,
and I could no longer maintain it, and it was getting to the point where it was decaying, and it was cheaper for me to tear it down and build a new building or do whatever. What are my options? This is what happened
Yeah.
to the nuns' home.
exactly.
And that
I
building
tried
was in
finding that.
such disrepair
Mhm.
that it would have cost the parish
Oh,
a whole bunch of money.
Where was the
hundreds
nuns'
of
home?
thousands. Right near the St. Francis School.
Oh.
Was that big old house that
Oh, I
was,
remember
Oh,
that.
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
but they let it
That's
go
been
to the
gone for a
point.
long time.
They let it go to the point where it was all moldy. Nobody could go in there.
No.
Okay, but if that was my house and I couldn't afford to maintain it and it got to that point,
Mm-hmm.
so the only thing I'm saying is you gotta have a little respect for the homeowner here also.
Yes.
I mean, it may be an historical building,
Yeah.
but unless you wanna put the funds in the town wants to put the funds in to restore this building, I mean, the homeowner should have the last say.
I agree with you 100%, but if the town already owns the building, the
The
town
library,
owned that
so-
building.
Well, the library, yes.
I mean, the
But the
house across
cemetery
the street, the
and-
cemetery house the town owned, because they
So-
sold it to the cemetery commission
They had-
for 17 acres of land that was there. 17 acres of land that went with that building was turned into the cemetery
Board,
grave
yeah.
sites.
Well, who owns that cemetery right now?
It's gonna be the town of Acushnet.
I don't know if it's the town of Acushnet. There's something there with that cemetery building, because I talked to Bob about that one time, and he was trying to explain to me. I don't remember already what it was, but I don't think it's all under the town of Acushnet. I think that cemetery board is separate. So that building is separate. But I know where you're coming from, because up on Main Street, I don't know if you remember, across from Rickwell, the old Vincent home. Tony Vincent worked with me, and that's another thing got torn down, because they left it to be rotted
What
away.
about buildings like the Granges? That's owned by the town?
Well, it's not actually owned by the town. There's an issue there too, because
Right.
you remember she came to me
The
about
town put money into
that building.
'Cause I used
In
to go
fact,
to
they want a
dances
sign
there.
right
Oh, I
now.
bet you, yeah.
Yeah, when we used to go to dances there when I was a kid.
Sure.
They don't do too much
In
there
fact, we used to
anymore.
dance here at the top floor when I was a kid.
Yeah,
Yeah, sock hops.
Yeah,
I remember
exactly,
that.
exactly.
we were kids, yeah, yeah.
I remember we used to peek in the windows of the hangars to watch the girls on the
Okay, so, I mean, at this point in time, I don't know what we can do with the church. When I went to CPC this year, I asked for like $16,000 to go with the 38 that we had to see if we could get the underneath repaired. And the CP board said to me, well, we would like to see the bathrooms in there first. He said, at least if we saw bathrooms in there, then we'd be willing to help out with more money to get the rest of it done over time.
But,
I don't have enough money for bathrooms.
but I think, isn't that an impossibility? You don't have enough room for septic, do you?
I don't know. I would have to call somebody there to
I
check.
mean, it would have to be a specialized septic system.
They don't have city sewage there?
No,
No.
we don't have no city surge. I'm on Hamlin Street and we don't have surge.
We don't, I don't even have gas in front of my house.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was lucky then when I bought my place.
Yeah. They said there's a gas line at the top of Mendel Road in Perry Hill. The gas line is right there.
I believe it goes down to Main Street. It goes down Perry Hill. I believe it's in front of the church.
I was told it doesn't go that far. I was told it stops right at
I
Mendel
thought
Road.
they brought it to Main Street and stopped.
I don't know.
Oh,
I think it was Eric that was telling me
Well,
that.
I know it goes to Rochester,
It goes down Perry Hill Road, but I don't
And-
think it comes this
and
way.
then the
on
gas
Perry.
main stops at Main Street for Formals there.
Oh, it does?
Yes,
On-
it stops.
Yeah, because it don't come down Hamlin Street either.
No.
So
We have fun
who
there.
would you question that runs the town about the library? The selectmen?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
They're the
something.
ones that rule?
I can talk to the town administrator, and he goes to the selectmen, or you can, call the
So
selectmen, and talk
Does
to them.
anybody can go talk to them about it, or you have to be part of your committee chairman?
No. Anybody that wants to meet with the selectmen, all you gotta do is call them, or call here, and say, could I make an appointment to sit down with, say, David Warner?
Gee, too bad my mother still doesn't work there.
Oh, by the way, what happened in the election? Who won? 'Cause
David Warner, he was reelected.
Oh, I figured he would.
Ah, yeah.
I figured he would.
But-
I am almost ashamed of myself. We have never voted in a strictly town election. Although we've lived here
Shame
for
on you.
20 years.
I know it's hard though when you vote. You talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the election comes up in the town
Yep.
and you go to vote. You don't know any of the candidates.
Yeah.
You don't know what they stand for.
See, I do.
If you're voting
I
by
know them all because
just
I'm right
because
in
of
the
a
middle of
name,
it.
suppose the name at the top of the list wants to put a McDonald's over here.
They
Yeah.
did have a candidates night.
They did.
I don't know how many
Yes.
the
Somebody
candidates
wanted to put a
went.
McDonald's in the Acushnet?
No.
Excuse me?
I said, does someone want to put in the McDonald's in
No.
Acushnet?
No.
I'm amazed that they let them put in the Dunkin'
McDonald's.
Donuts.
There was a lot of fight over that Dunkin' Donuts.
Saying if somebody wanted to put a McDonald's.
Oh, that's up to not our board.
Nah,
Yeah, but still, I mean, that's ludicrous as far as I'm concerned. That putting in a Dunkin', on my bicycle, I see more road rage incidents there in the morning than
Yeah.
you would believe.
Oh, exactly, in the traffic
Yeah, the
Yeah.
traffic
backed
backs
up
up.
on South Main
If
Street.
the traffic's backed up to Main Street and somebody wants to turn in, they just stop there and there's about 19 cars
Oh,
behind
it's
them.
awful.
But the only thing I say is, years ago, there were selectmen in this town that discouraged all types of businesses to
Yeah.
move into Acushnet because of the heavy trucks and everything
Yep.
else.
Yep.
And at that time, we had, well, it was Warren Brothers
Yep.
before Tilcon.
Yep.
And we had Campanelli Accardi, where Rep Welders now.
Yeah.
And those are all heavy construction trucks.
Yeah, but there was.
And then they discourage a business, but businesses pay a higher percentage taxes
taxes,
than a homeowner.
I understand.
That's
that.
why our tax rate is so high in this town.
because we don't have enough
All right,
business.
I can understand bringing in businesses, but I think the businesses you want to bring in should be brought up before a board and examined to see what kind of impact they're going to have on the
yeah.
town.
They
Well,
would-
then you're gonna be subject to probably something like snob zoning or whatever.
Yeah.
But you
that's-
couldn't just bring a business into town. You'd have to go through conservation, you'd have to go
Well,
through all these planning boards,
Depends
Board of
what type
Health.
of business also.
And then type of
Well, I'm
business,
just
and then
saying,
before the
that
selectmen.
McDonald's does not belong in a Acushnet.
No,
No.
no, I haven't heard that one. Thank God.
Yeah, amen. Granted, they bring in a lot of tax money, but the traffic situation is bad now.
That's right.
Can you imagine what it would be if they had a McDonald's?
I don't think we'll ever see that. Not unless sewage starts going further north. Because right now, there's none.
Yeah.
Well, you'd be
There's none.
surprised. Money talks.
There is, no sewage that way.
It'll be long before we're.
Maybe after we're gone. But basically, these are things that the Historical Commission does.
Yep.
Try to get ideas and try to keep these historical buildings going.
Sure, if you can.
Like, there's another problem, the Quaker Meeting House, which is a mile further up
Oh, yeah.
from the museum.
Of course, there are no Quakers around.
They're all in the
Now,
backyard
does the town
buried.
own that?
Yeah.
Town owns that.
And there's a cemetery there?
There's a Quaker cemetery in the back.
Yeah.
Now, that should have some meaning on whether it can get torn down or not.
Could never get thrown down, I don't think. Because they got rebuilt in the 1980s. I mean, we've got the plaques and pictures in there.
Uh-huh.
But the way it stands right now,
Yeah.
they won't allow us to use that building anymore because it's not up to code.
Yeah, well,
It doesn't have a ramp,
Yeah.
doesn't have a bathroom, doesn't have running water or heat.
That's tough.
It's like the church.
Yeah.
It's nothing. But
Yeah.
there's like 2 acres of land up there.
Yeah. That's
You
right.
know, if we could get the funding to put a septic system in there in a bathroom, then we could use it.
septic
What's
system.
gonna happen to I don't wanna get off the subject, but the carriage house that you proposed?
You know the time and the work we put into that project?
Yes.
They were gonna have the boys from Old Colony build a section at a time, like maybe 1, 2, 3 units. Build it at Old Colony and have it trucked over there and do it section by section. It was gonna cost $100,000
Oh,
for, say, 3, and I forgot how many there is. I've got the pictures all over the place too. There was quite a few spots, maybe 10 or 12. That whole back wall was all carriage houses.
yeah.
So that, the town wouldn't give the money either.
Well, like you said, the
You know?
tax rate is high now, but look at New Bedford, they got businesses coming out of the arrears and their tax rate's outrageous. So you can't go by, so much of that.
Well, okay.
I'm serious, no, I'm saying, yeah, the tax rate is high, but I don't think Acushnet is the only one
No.
that's in that boat.
Oh, look at
No.
Fairhaven. They wanted to go the override.
The signs on everyone's lawn.
I know, I've been seeing it. That's
I think
creating a problem.
that's a universal problem throughout the country, is
Sure
the
it
tax,
Sure.
the tax situation on your personal property.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But then again, government costs a fortune to run,
Mm.
because there's number one, there's a lot of waste.
Of course there is.
Yes.
Inefficiency.
Exactly, But, to try to do something about it, I don't mean to be taking,
Yeah.
speaking out at the meeting like I'm the new member, and I don't mean to make.
That's okay, we want to get to know you.
Quite all right. Quite all right.
But we try to get involved in all this. I mean, I listen to all their meetings. I listen to everything, conservation.
Yeah.
I kind of like conservation. I'm almost thinking of applying for the board because they got 2 openings. The only thing is with conservation, on Saturday mornings is when they go out walking to look at whatever issues come up at
Yeah,
meeting.
yeah.
Then on the Saturday morning, they get together and they go
Right.
walk in the woods or do whatever they have to do.
Who's
Sure.
paying
I don't
for
know.
Hamlin Street?
What is it?
Who's paying for Hamlin Street, the town?
No, the state.
The
The
state
state
paying
is
for
doing
that?
that.
Because I see they got equipment there today.
They had the street closed off this morning, because when I came home from work around 9 o'clock, I had to stop because the machinery, you know what they're doing? Not to interrupt you. You know where the factory is, on the front part, there's in two areas there where the water goes under the road.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, the one that goes through the factory itself, the one that they were digging that all up this morning. They're gonna do away with that unit.
So there'll be no more water in those waterways at the factory?
Not that waterway there, no, that'll be gone.
Well, not that it needs it.
No,
No,
but
but-
when that pond gets high enough, that water guts.
Well, there was a dam there at one time that
Well, I
ran,
think
that
I
ran the
did.
mill.
They did away with the dam because of the herring.
Right.
Herring run,
But
yeah.
that dam ran the mill.
Right, it's provided
The
water
water
to that
to-
mill.
Right, right.
That's what they were tearing up today.
Before I came on board, I went to the library, got a book on the history of Acushnet.
Good.
And some of the facts I found out were astounding. Like the British and the Acushnet Minutemen had a fight at River's End here, and the British wiped them out.
Whoa.
You know, and I didn't know that. I didn't, and they burnt whatever the town was. They burnt it down. The British did.
We've got that as a historic district.
Yep.
Right.
We've got a sign there that
Well,
was what it did.
That emblem that you see, the Acushnet emblem,
Yep.
that's on the flag. My father duplicated that, and the town had numerous T-shirts made, and that was on the T-shirts.
Oh, yeah.
That's
And my
nice.
father's the one that drew the emblem.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Because we have shirts made for Apple Peach Festival
Right.
up at the
Now,
museum.
who owns that building?
That's the town building.
That's the town building.
I run it. I run it because of the commission.
Uh-huh.
The thing on
So, in fact, I was up there today doing a water
Was
test
it messy?
for Apple Peach. Having the water
That's
tested.
when, in September?
September. Yep.
What was your father's name?
Raymond
Messier?
Mercier, yeah. He was a custodian here, and when they decided to put offices upstairs, he built them all. And they did that, one of the guys that, on Sunday mornings, I go for breakfast, and there's 10 of us sometimes that all went to grammar school together. And one of the guys knew my father, and they said, when you ever wanted to find your father, they went down in the cellar and he was asleep on one of the tables, taking a nap. But my mother was assessor's clerk for years, and she knew everybody in town, you know. Like Wilfred Fortin, was it?
Yeah, Wilfred.
Yeah, he was a piece of work, that guy, but he worked here for years too.
But his sons,
Alan Rockcliffe.
Alan Rockcliffe, yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, I grew up in Acushnet, you know what I mean?
Certainly. Yeah.
I mean, granted, I was gone for a long time, moving to Florida, that was an experience too. But like I said, Florida's getting to the point when I had to go to the grocery store, not to change the subject, but I had to pick the time, otherwise it was gridlock.
Yeah.
It would take you an hour to do 5 miles.
Be terrible.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah, the traffic is
That was one of the
horrendous.
reasons I moved, and then when I moved to Tennessee, it was the total opposite. There was nobody there.
There was no grocery stores.
There was one small grocery store, and believe it or not, there was a McDonald's.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Well,
Okay.
so we had town meeting last night and we were able to get our items through. They got approved, so we'll be having that new fence on the north side at the museum.
Yep.
That'll be going up. As soon as I get the paperwork and with the details and account numbers and all that, then I'll get started on that. Oh, and by the way, the fence at the gate at the meeting house,
Okay.
okay? I got that ordered. It's going in June.
It's gonna be wrought iron?
It's going to be the same kind of fence that's going at the museum. That's not wrought iron. What do you call it?
Chain link.
Chain link.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
Chain-
I never
oh,
think of
chain
it.
link.
It's chain link, going to be black vinyl with the metal poles.
I just ordered that for my house. I was amazed at what it cost.
Oh.
It's about 50 feet. It's going to be $1,100.
Oh.
Well, this is a gate that's going to open in the middle, out like this, so that when they go there to cut the grass and stuff, all they can do is just open the gate out, drive in and out, close it. We're not going to have a lock on it anymore, though, because for me to put a lock on that, I've got to give keys to everybody.
Oh.
fire department, police department, you know, I gotta
Sure,
give keys.
sure.
Town hall, they've all gotta have keys. I ain't going through that. So we'll put the fence up. He said it comes with the mechanism, you know, for close it in the middle.
If anybody wanted to get into that property,
They can jump the wall. I do when I have to. I can walk right over it, you know? So, and we've got it posted, you know, no fires or anything like that. Nothing like that. Because that's, you know, it cost us quite a bit of money, what was it, last year or the year before? We had all new lighting put on the building. So now it's got the whole building is lit up at night.
Yeah.
The police department, they have a tendency to go over there and park in the front, watching for speeders.
No kidding.
Oh yeah, and they complain constantly that building is too dark at night. You need to light that building up. I was hearing it week after week after week.
Wouldn't they rather be able to hide unseen?
No,
Open
they
and
want
have
the building lit
A
up.
speedster going 5 miles over the limit or something?
They're parked right near the street. They don't care because the building is set back in.
Yeah, I suppose.
So now it's all lit up.
Yeah.
Then the museum is all lit up at night too, all around the building. So,
Watch
and
this. You see that up there?
we're in the process right now of getting a
Yeah, it's
new
on
toilet
delay.
for the men's room at the museum.
That's strange.
You know,
Because the
is
one
that
that's
right?
there is so old, ancient,
Why?
it uses too
Why
much
is
water.
The meeting is being recorded?
So the new
Is that a
the
law?
new ones,
I don't know.
got this
There
one
was,
at,
yeah, but, yeah. It's just
oh my
strange.
God. Anyways, the plumbing place. It's only 1.28 in water.
I
They
I
cut
think
it
that's
down
all they can sell these days.
1.28.
Yep.
Yeah. I never knew this until I started searching toilets. Each piece is separate. The tank is one price, the base is another price.
Well, you buy a one-piece toilet.
It's like your
How
septic.
can you sit on a toilet that doesn't flush?
I have a friend of mine that installs septic systems for Title V. I lived in Freetown on my grandma owned the lake on a cottage on the lake I inherited. And they passed Title V. If you sold your property, you had to bring your septic system up to
Oh,
par.
yes.
Okay? And the average price was $25,000.
Yeah. And now with this new thing they're talking about, it could be 40 to 50,000.
Wow.
So,
Well, isn't that being contested by the town?
it's being contested by all the towns.
Okay.
They said Senator Montigny is the one that's working on that with, for the towns. Right now, they're trying to bury it completely, you know?
What do you mean? They're trying to pass it that every house has to bring their septic?
Yeah.
That,
They were talking about making it a law where every household would have to update their system.
how far does the septic system, the sewer system go? You said Perry Hill?
Oh, yeah, all north is all septic. I'm on
Well,
Hamlin
where does it
Street.
end? At the
It
park?
doesn't end.
It doesn't.
It's where the surge ends.
Yeah,
That's
well,
where
that's what
the
I meant.
septic
Where's the
begins.
sewage end?
Near St. Francis School, right?
Somewhere, yes. I
Yeah,
think
one of
so.
those
Really, right
streets.
there?
Yeah.
What about, it must go down to River's End.
Well, yes.
Rivers
that's
End, this
it.
Yeah,
part of town,
okay.
yeah, this part of
So
town.
just the downtown area? has-
Downtown, South
Has
Main
sewage?
Street, I don't know how much of South Main Street. I think pretty much the whole thing, isn't it?
What, to Pop Casey's or to the
Yeah,
apartments?
I believe so, yes.
Because Pop Casey's was just made into an apartment.
Yeah, they just made
I
a
heard they got $2,000 a month for that place.
3-bedroom apartment they made out of the
Oh, I thought it
restaurant.
was gonna be a business.
No,
They
it's
said they
It's
changed
an
their mind.
apartment because somebody has a mailbox out there with a number.
Yeah,
The house right across the street, I live on Boylston here.
Yeah.
The house across the street, the people that lived on the top floor went into a nursing home. And the guy that owns the place redid the whole apartment over, and that's what he's getting. A walk-up, second floor walk-up, $2,000 a
oh
month.
my
Well,
God.
there's no housing around.
Yeah, well, the guy that rented the place works at Titleist, he doesn't even own a car.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's why he rented this place, is so he could
So
walk
they
to work.
Right.
Good God.
$2,000.
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
Welcome to the 21st century.
Yeah. But I mean, but for a second floor walk-up, and there's no, and it's off-street parking, there's no driveway, you can't park in a driveway.
Mm.
You gotta park in the street.
Gosh.
Snow days.
Oh my God, we're getting worse and worse. It really is. So, okay.
That's why we're historical.
As opposed to hysterical.
So, okay, so I'm gonna try to see if I can talk to, I don't know if I can get a hold of him tomorrow, the town administrator, and see if I can press him about the library.
Yeah, let's find out,
Yeah.
because that would be a shame to let that building get into disarray. It's already
It's
a
already-
big hunk of the banister, granite banisters falling down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, all it would take would to get a bobcat in there and pick that up, put it back.
I think it needs a new roof and everything, doesn't it?
But I think it has a slate roof, and that's pretty old.
Well, last I heard, the roof needs
It was
repair.
leaking.
Was leaking or
I think
something,
I heard
yeah.
something about the roof leaking too.
So that's a shame. I mean, to see that building go to hell is,
Yeah, it's sad.
it's a sin.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
But I understand that money talks.
And bullshit walks.
And I don't understand, why they didn't pursue getting that appraisal done, because that's what the selectmen had said they were gonna do.
It seems to me they're losing money by not putting offices in there that they could rent out. It don't make sense to me.
No.
I don't think that's feasible.
I don't,
Why?
yeah.
Handicap accessible.
Well, then they have to make it handicap accessible.
They tried that with the veterans, and it was too
Yeah.
What?
too
Yeah.
costly.
Yeah.
They wanted to turn that into a veterans home,
Right.
Yeah,
I heard that.
and to do that, I believe you had to have handicap accessibility,
It can't be
which
that
means
expensive.
elevator.
Oh, elevator.
Elevator, I mean, on one side, it's not bad, but in the front, that's quite a hill.
Yeah.
yeah,
And being handicapped, a ramp, last I knew, it was 1 inch elevation for every foot of length.
Now, for handicap, do you have to have a handicap entrance at every entrance, or can they
Just
get away with just
one.
one in the back?
Probably one in the back,
yeah,
but it's still.
But the elevator would be the thing. That would-
yeah. Because the lower level, you can walk right in. The door is ground level
Right.
over
Well,
here
you
at the
still-
library.
Yeah.
The
more or
lower
less,
level.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could put an elevator inside to go to the first floor.
That would cost a fortune.
Yeah.
Well, I believe, don't quote me, but I believe they did a study where they were talking about turning it into a veterans home,
Mm-hmm,
and it was too
yeah.
costly.
Who
The
was they?
architect,
The town?
The town,
it was with wasn't it with Mattapoisett or?
I'm not sure.
I think
the
the two
details.
towns were talking together, but when they started talking about the designs and everything, it was gonna cost a fortune.
Right.
So they didn't pursue it.
Or how about if
The-
we
the-
get a petition going? Would that
But
help?
the design of the building,
I understand
it's not feasible to do,
Yeah.
that. Economically,
That's what it is.
exactly.
yeah, I understand that, but I think if we had enough clout, so to speak,
Well, if we had another Millicent or Huddleston, sure. I mean, you're a benefactor to do something with it. but
yeah, that's true, we'd have to find somebody with money.
That's tough.
These days,
That's
if
definitely-
they have money, they don't want to part with it.
Yeah, I
No,
agree,
no.
I agree.
And the new library, I'll tell you, that building is really nice. They did a nice job in that
Yeah, I
building.
go there all the time. In fact, you can
Yeah.
buy hardcover books there.
Yeah,
10 cents a piece.
yep.
I went there one day with a tote and I bought 40 of them.
Well,
I buy it
I
every
think that
time
was
I
just
go.
voted on last night by town meeting to sell the surplus
The
books
books.
from the library.
Yeah, that was part of it, yeah. Yeah, 10 for $1 she sells them for.
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
And they're good books.
Yeah, they are.
They're good books.
Because I do a lot of reading and
Yep.
that's a godsend to me.
It is, it is. But the building itself is beautiful. They did such a good job.
Yeah, I went to 7th grade there.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, when I was there 7th grade, White's Dairy had the cows surrounding that school.
Oh my
And they had
God.
a thunderstorm
deals.
one day and they stampeded. And it came right through the fence, took down all the playground equipment, everything.
Oh
And
my
luckily enough, we
God.
weren't outside.
Oh my God.
Wild,
Yeah.
sure.
Well, that's scary.
We used to ride our bikes from Long Plain, the school,
Oh, sure.
and play baseball.
Yep.
It was inter-school rivalry. Mr. Brackett was our coach. He was also the janitor.
Yep.
And to get to one school to the other, you had to ride your bikes.
Wasn't Mr. Brackett the one that lived on Pershing Avenue?
Yes.
I sold
Right
his
on the
house.
corner.
I
Yeah.
sold his house.
You know
And
what?
you know, when I sold the house, I was dealing with his, I think, son and daughter-in-law, because they had passed away.
Right.
There was a picture inside the house of the Perry Hill, the Long Plain Museum.
Yeah.
Okay, a nice little picture. And when I saw it, I flipped over. I said, "Oh, I would love to have that picture." Oh boy, God, went crazy over it. So the son said, "You can't have that picture. No, that belongs with the house." Do you know when I sold that damn house, he gave me the picture?
Oh,
I've
good.
got it in my house.
nice.
I've got it in my house.
He-
I loved it.
I got a thrill when he used to let me ring the bell. Used to go in the basement
Yeah.
and pull a rope,
Yeah.
and because I was small, and I used to let the rope take me up 6 or 7 feet and come back down again.
Speaking of the library, one more thing. Do you know that there's a time capsule in the front?
Yes, I was approached when the library first moved.
Mhm.
I was approached by the librarian about the
Moving it?
time capsule being moved.
How long had it been underground?
1960.
Oh, that's a while.
The Centennial, they put it in, it's not supposed to be open until 2060.
Yep.
But they said,
But they're gonna have to move it.
Yes?
yeah, they wanted to move it, and they wanted to move it up to the new library.
Isn't that something?
And that's why, that was another reason, that was a little bit of a problem when they talked about selling that building.
Yeah.
Because they would have to have deed restrictions on the monument.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah,
right?
They would
yeah.
have to have
And
what?
deed restrictions.
Oh,
Yeah.
why? I don't, to put what, to bury a time capsule?
No, that whoever bought the building
Oh.
Yeah.
would not be able to touch that monument or the facade of the building itself.
Yep.
That would all be in a deed restriction.
That's
Probably should
that's a dinosaur right there.
deal-
to try-
a deal
to buy
killer.
anyone that tries to buy it.
Still, if somebody was to buy that, turn it into offices, yeah, it would cost a lot of money.
course
But
it
they
would.
could make money with
Yeah.
that building.
be.
There's parking, you know, and it's historical, I mean,
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure they could.
It's a beautiful building.
yeah, it is. It'd be a shame to
I
see it
think the
go.
town should keep that building, not sell it though.
But
Well,
then again,
I'm
what are you
gonna-
gonna do with it?
They've got to decide one way or the other
Yeah.
because it's costing money.
Yeah, money
I mean, the
talks.
only thing they're doing to it right now is only keeping up with the lawn. And even that is taking its toll.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, if they,
They've only got one guy right now working for the town, cutting grass. One guy, and he only works, I think, 5 hours a day.
Yep.
Okay? And I called the girl that works in the selectman's office. I called her and I said, the meeting house, the museum, the Perry Hill Church,
Yep.
the grass needs cutting. They hadn't cut it in maybe 3 weeks.
Yeah.
He went up there this week and he cut all the lawns.
the
What a nice
DPW or the town.
Not the the DPW doesn't touch the lawns anymore.
Oh, okay.
It's there's one guy that was hired by the town, like I said, 5 hours a day, no insurance, nothing, 19 hours a week. He doesn't get no insurance or nothing.
They just approved last night,
For the
the
kids.
youth.
The kids, yeah. Yeah. Well, the 2 kids that left were from Old Colony.
Right.
Ah,
And those kids were very good. I mean, they did carpentry work, they did a little bit of everything.
Well, didn't someone say at town meeting that they work for the town now, or one of them works for the town now?
Those 2 kids, they took off and went up near Boston area with Jim Merritt when he left.
Oh, okay.
He took the kids with him.
wow.
So now they got to travel from Acushnet area all the way up there to work. but we lost two good kids because those kids were really good. They used to cut the grass.
Yep.
They did painting. They did anything carpentry. They did anything in all the
And they weren't
buildings.
looking for,
No, because they were getting paid like $15 an hour.
well, that was pretty good in those days. Yeah. Motion to adjourn, or?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. June 20th is our next meeting.
June 20, okay, yeah.
That's the third week, isn't it? I thought it was the second week.
We're on the second week, and then I read the paperwork on the
It's written
commission.
down here
and it's the
somewhere,
third
isn't it?
week.
Maybe.
So that's why I changed it to the third week.
Yeah, there's next meeting, June 20th.
Yeah, June 20th. Okay, same time, 6:30.
Well, I want you all to know I'm really glad I joined.
Yes, it's
good.
nice to have you.
I was looking for something to do, and
Well, I'll
if
keep
anything I can
you.
do to help out, I will, you know.
Are you working at all?
Well, I work part-time for a guy that owns houses, apartments.
Yep.
I'm his handyman.
Okay.
Good
But
deal.
as far as work, no, I tried that. I tried to work at Rocky's Ace Hardware for Haven, okay? And I worked 3 months, but my legs were going numb.
Well, you gotta be fast on your feet in that place.
Yeah, well, not only that, it's concrete, and
Yeah.
sitting on a concrete floor all day,
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
That's too much.
Yeah, it's tough on the legs.
It's tough
I
to
know my
admit you're
husband
getting
can't do
old, but
nothing
I'm
with
getting
his legs
old.
are a mess.
I'm 76.
He's going
Same
tomorrow
here.
for his ultrasound.
I
You were
found
born
out
in
the-
46.
I have to look at a record.
In fact, the house I bought was built
Motion
in
to
46.
adjourn?
we adjourned?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Meeting adjourned, is that?
Yes, we're adjourned.
Oh.